What is up, guys? This is Zoe and Thomas, and we are with none other than the Chad Lacy in the flesh. You've probably seen him a lot on our YouTube channel before, so he's a familiar face around here, but today we have the pleasure and honor of sitting down with him directly.
Hey, guys.
My bad. I didn't know if that was my cue or not, but no, that's awesome. So yeah, guys, we're here with Chad Lacy. And Chad, so how long have you been with 9 University?
So I signed up the beginning of March of 2020.
2020, okay, yeah. So he's been in for 5 months, okay? So within this 5 months, how has your process been with 9 University, or with Amazon FBA actually? Has it been complicated? Has it been annoying? Has it been great? Like, what is your outlook on Amazon now that you've been in it for 5 months?
It was all the above.
Yeah?
It's been great. There's been things that have been complicated. You know, Amazon doesn't make it easy sometimes. But that's honestly one of the things I love about the 9 University community, is because whenever I hit one of those stumbling blocks, I had a group that I could reach out to, right?
Awesome.
So that's been fabulous. So I never felt like I was just on my own and at the end of the road. Like, I knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I just had to keep working the problem.
Yeah.
And it was always little problems. It was like the little things that turned into like huge things that I didn't see coming. The huge stuff was easy, right? And 9 University, covers a lot of that through the academies and well, not the academies, but the course itself. So it makes the really big things easy, and you know what to expect.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I love about you is that you said you joined in March of 2020, which if anyone takes their calendar, that's when the global pandemic happened.
Yeah,
and most people are like, everything's crazy, I'm not doing anything. And you're like, let's start an Amazon business.
That's
but
right.
It has worked.
It has worked.
And you're a testament to that, so I love that.
It was actually the pandemic that got me to start.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'm jumping ahead on your
go
question.
ahead.
But,
tell us.
So I started off 2020. I have a nonprofit that I run, and I had started off the year planning a big event as a fundraiser.
Okay.
And as word of the pandemic started coming out, I just was reading the tea leaves and said, I've got to scrap this whole thing. The fundraiser's not going to work. I've got to do something different. And so I scrambled to come up with another idea, and Amazon FBA was my idea. And so I put the money that I was going to put into an event into starting a business that could then funnel money as a fundraiser to my nonprofit.
That's amazing. And what is your nonprofit?
Hero Flights. It's a nonprofit I started back in 2016 to fly wounded veterans to their medical appointments.
That's amazing.
Goodness gracious. If that's not commendable, then I don't know what is. That's just phenomenal, man. That's really cool. So you started in March, right? And you've had your ups and downs. You've had to figure out different things, right? So where are you at now with your Amazon business?
So I got product in 2 weeks ago, and I'm up and selling. And yeah, just a little over 2 weeks of being live on Amazon. So it's exciting times now.
Yeah. So how have the sales been for the first 2 weeks?
Sales have been great. I'm $3,100 right now.
Wow.
About,
awesome.
like I said, about 16 days in.
Yeah.
And every day the sales grow a little bit more, working the keywords, working the PPC, doing exactly what the program says to do, and it's working exactly like the program says it should work. So.
Amazing. That's really cool, man. So where are you at, with, let's talk about reviews. Where are you at with reviews on your product in 2 weeks?
19 reviews in 2 weeks.
Holy shit. That's crazy. 19 reviews in 2 weeks, guys. That's insane.
Awesome.
And all 5 stars, I might say.
Oh my gosh. Gosh, is there a little tip you could throw to the people real quick for reviews?
Yeah, so the number one tip is you gotta plan how you're gonna run your business, right? You can't get to a point and go, okay, what am I gonna do now? You need to know what those steps are gonna be ahead of time. And there's a nice natural pause when your product's on a boat getting shipped over to get all of these steps in place. So I had a plan set in place for what I was going to do to get reviews right off the bat, and stole a page out of Kyle Stevens' 2 of his academies, the Maximum Thrust and his Review Tsunami.
Okay.
And is essentially, I went and found a bunch of Facebook groups that had interest in my product, became a member, was in there kind of asking questions just about the Facebook group itself, not necessarily my product. And then as soon as my product was live, I went in and said, hey, I've got 20 of these to give away. Hit me up on Messenger if you're interested. And Facebook Messenger absolutely blew up. It was crazy. I even had people saying, hey, I run another Facebook group. Can I share your post over there? I had people reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm a YouTuber. Can you send me one and I'll do a review? I mean, it was just nuts. And so was able to get 19 reviews in less than a week.
That's crazy, man. That's phenomenal. So let's circle back around to back to you deciding to go to Amazon FBA. Okay, so you go and you figure out that this is what you want to do, right? Was this pre finding out who Kel and Taylor were, or is this after that?
No, I had decided to do FBA before I knew who Kel and Taylor were.
Okay.
So I kind of reached out there and was like, all right, I can probably figure this out myself. Started watching some YouTube videos, but of course that sets off all the Facebook ads for, oh, you want to start an FBA business. Yep. And started seeing all the ads from all the different groups. Investigated a few of them. A lot of them were just high pressure sales. You know, the first one I talked to was one of the, we'll set up an FBA business for you, give me $50,000. I'm like, no.
FTC's coming for you.
Yeah. And if I had $50,000 to give away, I wouldn't need you to set up a business.
Hello.
I think I already know what I'm doing.
That's phenomenal.
And then, you know, talk to a couple, I won't name them, but just others that I just didn't get a really great vibe from, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, I saw Kaylin Taylor's ad. It started off like the typical ad with the Lamborghini, and then they panned out and it was like a little Dashbox car. Yeah. And that grabbed my attention. And I was like, okay, these guys are funny, and that was different. And they said all the right things, right? Like, it's not a get rich quick. We're working a business. It's going to be a lot of hard work. If you're willing to put the work in, we can show you how to do it. We've done all the mistakes, and we want to share what not to do and what to do. And I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
that's what I want to talk about.
I think that is really cool. So you said that you started out just looking through YouTube, trying to decide if you could do it on your own, right?
Right.
And so what made you decide that you couldn't do it on your own, that you do need help?
It was, you know, I've been in business for a long time, and I know that, number one, when you watch these videos, not everything is as smooth as they make it out to be, right?
Yep.
And I know that there's going to be lots of little things. And so what I was looking for wasn't somebody to set it up for me, but I was looking for that community that I could tap into when I hit a roadblock. What do I do now, right? And so when I talked to the folks at 9U, those are the questions I had. I was like, yeah, I know you have all the videos. That's great. But what else do you have? When they started talking about Fast Track and the live streams and the Zoom calls and you know, the Facebook communities and the pages, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want.
That's awesome, and that's really cool. So within your time of reading into 9 University and seeing the different value offers that we can give people and all that kind of stuff, what was it that, like, and I know that like other people can offer you things, right? That like live streams and all that kind of stuff. But what was like the main thing that stuck out to you as to, like, I know there's like a bunch of stuff, but what was like the big thing that was like, all right, this is it?
I think at that point it was Fast Track, knowing that it was 24/7 and I could get in touch with somebody anytime I wanted. I was like, okay, that's really cool. Again, it wasn't till I got in and all the other stuff, and I was like, wow, there's so much more valuable than what I had anticipated. Fast Track was the one I had my eye set on, and certainly don't want to take away from Fast Track because it is absolutely phenomenal, and I wouldn't have gotten to where I am as fast as I did if it wasn't for Fast Track. It's appropriately named. Yeah, it was everything else that came along with it afterwards that I just kept wanting more of.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So what has been your favorite part about starting an Amazon FBA business?
My favorite start, wow. I'm just a nerd at heart, so I like learning stuff. So just learning all the nuances, because again, as thorough as the 9 University courses are, and even all the different academies, everybody's going to have their own experience, right? Like, it's not cookie cutter, because if it was cookie cutter, then it would just be easy to reproduce. Everybody's got to work their business, and so to me, that was the fun. Was, you know, I don't know, and coming in this, I didn't know what PPC was. Show me what PPC is, how to do it. But after that, playing around with it and figuring it out myself, and then being able to share that information with other people as they are coming along as well.
That's really cool. And I just have one more question, and then Zoe can finish out with some questions. But so your time of starting Amazon FBA business, you've been here for 5 months, right? And you built your business differently than I have seen any other student do, right? What you did was you built your brand. You decided to go after being brand registered, of making sure that your product is yours, that no one else can hijack you, that you can do all of these things before you even go live, okay? So like, and I think it's really cool that you say that you love learning, because Zoe and I, we've been talking about this on this road trip that we've been on, is that we get bored if we're not learning. Like, we start to not enjoy things if we're not learning, okay? And so going into this business, already with a foundation that you've already built, do you think that has been easier for you? Do you think it's put you behind further? Like, where do you put yourself at with focusing on brand registry as much as you did?
You know, I think it has given me some advantages for sure. And the reason I focused on the brand registry, again, I didn't know going into FBA that brand registry existed, but once I found out about it, I was like, I want that. And it was really because, and I'll steal a page from Jim Calcaterra, who talks a lot about branding, but it concretes you on knowing what your why is, right? And every time, a pothole is in front of you or a roadblock's in front of you, if you go back to your why and you know what your mission is, it can drive you forward. And so brand registry wasn't just about registering a logo. It was having a solid foundation of who I am, what this company's going to be, what it means to me, and what I want it to mean for my customers.
Yep.
Even before I had a product,
Yep.
right? And just having that absolute foundation and being clear in what that vision was going to be.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so brand registry was just a toolkit to cement that for
Yeah,
me.
that's phenomenal, man. I love it.
Very cool. And the why being the hero flags, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So you entered the Amazon journey, I should use my words, in probably one of the most tumultuous times ever. But you had fun. You're like, I want to learn everything, but what I want to know is, let's peel back the curtain a little bit.
All right.
What was one of the hardest things that you had to get through, or something you wish you knew that you could give these lovely viewers?
Just how hard it is to get your Seller Central account open.
Yes. Yep.
Like that's something that was another one of those things like, oh, you have to have a Seller Central account. And I'm like, okay, I'll get to that later. And I wish I had started that process a whole lot sooner than I did, because I had no idea it was going to be quite as difficult as it was. I just, you sign up for an account, you can pay your $39, whatever it is. I didn't think it was going to be that big a deal, really.
Yeah.
And I ended up spending weeks, multiple weeks, trying to get that resolved.
Wow.
So yeah, that was of all of this, that was probably the most frustrating. And I think it's funny, anybody else is watching it is gonna be like, really, all the stuff you have to do to set up a business, and the most frustrating thing is getting an account open? I'm like, but because I was prepared for everything else, right?
Yeah.
Like you're prepared for the negotiating, you're prepared for, how hard it is to find a product you're going to sell. Like that, I knew going into it. I had no idea getting an account open was going to be that hard.
Yeah, I want to like preface for a lot of people that it does piss people off that Amazon doesn't help them out faster than they should, right? And I completely understand that, and that you should be mad. Don't get me wrong, but I want people to realize that the reason why Amazon wants so much verification is because Chinese suppliers kept coming in and stealing people's products and putting them up for cheaper and doing all this kind of stuff. And so now being able to verify things, even though it's a B word and a half, don't get me wrong, it's terrible, it's still also complementing your business to make sure that people aren't coming in and stealing your products and doing a bunch of that kind of stuff. So even though it can be frustrating, even though finally you got it figured out, it is well worth doing it before you think that you're gonna need it. But at the same time, guys, don't get frustrated. As long as you can keep your head on the ball and make sure you're still continuously talking to Amazon Seller Central, whatever it is, make sure that, guys, that you just don't get mad at it. Don't get mad.
No, I think that's a fair point. I should clarify. If somebody asked me would I do it all over again, I absolutely would do it all over again. I didn't spend enough time to figure out what Amazon was going to need for me.
Yep.
And so I'm going to go set up my account now, and I need a bank account, so I went and got that, and of course now the company name doesn't match the address and all this kind of stuff. That if I had just done all that ahead of time and had it all in place and then set it up, it would have been smooth sailing. So it was my own fault, but it was frustrating.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
For sure. So let's speak to the person who is thinking about starting an Amazon FBA business and is looking for a different coach or mentor per se. What would you say is the biggest piece of advice or encouragement you could give to someone who has not yet entered that territory fully?
The biggest piece of advice is you need to have your business plan and plan out every step of it, because lots of stuff is going to come at you, and it's going to come at you pretty fast. And there's all these really helpful tools, and it can get overwhelming at some point of, wow, I didn't know I have to buy all this stuff. Well, you don't have to buy all this stuff, but if you haven't planned for all that yet, you don't know, and you can kind of get tripped up. You can get lured in, to maybe buying some things you don't need at this point, right? So know what your steps are, know what your plan is, and work the plan. And that's, again, I hear a lot of people come is like, I wish there was a checklist. I'm like, there is. It's right on the 9U website. It's week 1, week 2, week 3. It's right there for you. And I know it's once you spend the money on the courses and you want to get the business set up and you're in a hurry, to start making some money. Just understand that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, right?
That's good.
Wow.
And so spend the time to have your business plan and work your plan, and then you won't get sidetracked into all these other things that can distract you, the shiny objects that can promise you to get you there faster.
What mile do you think you're at in your marathon? Your Amazon FBA marathon.
Yeah, man, I'm probably at mile 10.
So guys, you just heard that he is up and selling on Amazon, but he's nowhere near the finish line.
Not at all.
And I think that's a great thing to realize, guys, is that yes, it is a great accomplishment to get a product up on Amazon, get it live, and start selling. 100%.
Yeah.
But you know what a bigger accomplishment is? Is being able to quit your job, or being able to help your family, or being able to help your friends. Whatever it is, guys, those are the big accomplishments that we want people to get.
Yeah.
Right? And I value that, man. And I love what you said about how you should be able to manage what you need in your business, because like you said, a lot of people purchase things when they don't necessarily need it yet. And don't get me wrong, guys, we want people to reinvest into their business, but reinvest smartly. Like right now, if you're doing product research, don't go buy an academy on PPC. Like don't waste your money on it, guys. Go and get an academy on product research if you need help with product research, okay? Don't waste your money on things that you do not need right now, because later down the road, you're gonna need them and you're gonna have profits, hopefully by then, to be able to start buying other things to reinvest. Because guys, knowledge is reinvestment. Knowledge and learning different things is reinvesting into yourself. And if it has to do with your business, then it's killing two birds with one stone. And so I just love that you said that, man. I really appreciate you saying that to the people. So.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Chad, this has been so amazing.
Yep.
We know that it's going nowhere but up for you.
Yep.
And does Hero Flights have a website?
Hero Flights does. HeroFlights.com.
There we go. And we're going to put the link below this video so you can check it out too.
Hero Flights, go check it out.
Thanks,
That's right.
everybody.
See you guys.